Tonight, we meet Precious Price. She built a luxury tiny home in the back of her other home in Atlanta, Georgia, to earn extra income by renting it out. It now covers all the costs for both homes, including her mortgage, bills, and apparently airfare to last call. Let's take a look at how she did it.
People are very surprised by the fact that this tiny house is less than 300 square feet, yet I have everything that I need. My name is Precious Price, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I built a tiny house in my backyard for about $35,000. So the initial plan for the tiny house was in the middle of the global pandemic. When I started building a tiny house, how I financed it was through my own credit cards, in addition to cashing out a few of the stocks that I had from my 9-to-5. My budget for building the tiny house was about $25,000. By the time we finished, we were over budget $10,000. After going through the build process, being over budget, behind schedule, we immediately ended up deciding to rent it on Airbnb just to recoup some of those costs pretty quickly. I love this little breakfast nook area. If I was to describe my tiny home for someone who has never been here, I would literally just describe it as a studio apartment. So immediately when you come in, you are now in the dining/living room. I would describe the tiny house as very light, airy, open. I made sure to add a ton of windows just to open the space up. Right across from the kitchen is where we have the bathroom. There's a full shower, which is honestly perfect. And of course, once you turn around from that bathroom, you then see the library ladder, which leads up to the loft. Honestly, putting a structure in your backyard provides a ton of options, whether it's actual rental income like I've been able to do, or even, again, just like a secondary structure that you may be able to live out of yourself and then rent your primary home.
And her story is also featured in the CNBC show Unlocked, showcasing how people live and how they've turned their real estate dreams into reality. And you don't have to wait long. Unlocked airs in like 2 minutes right after this show. But Precious Price was kind enough to come up from Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Precious, good to see you.
It's great to see you.
I mean, is this first off, who's renting this Airbnb in your, like, who is your tenant that comes in and books this?
So typically I have students that are tenants in addition to young professionals. Those are usually the folks that need it. And when you think about Atlanta, there are a huge number of colleges and universities.
Are you
right
shocked at how surprised and successful it's been?
Honestly, yes. You'd be surprised how many people, like, how much they were willing to pay. But on top of that, the people that were interested in actually staying in a shed in a backyard just because it's cool.
And that covers the costs of your primary home.
It covers the mortgage, yes.
Which is amazing to me.
In this market, absolutely.
Now, you got some tips, because I think your first tip is critically important.
Absolutely.
People are watching this going, oh, yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to do it. And then they find out they can't because of zoning regulations.
Exactly. So make sure that you are checking your zoning regulations. You can give a call to your zoning office, or you can just try and look online. That's the best way.
And don't go to like Home Depot and buy like one of those pre-sheds, right? That like you need somebody that knows what they're doing.
You need someone that knows what they're doing, and then you also need to connect it to water and electricity. Many people don't think about that with those Home Depot sheds.
I would hope with a toilet that would be kind of a vital thing.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's not good.
It's not going to work out.
It won't. It's bring Johnny on the spot here. Also, return on investment.
Yes. So your return on investment can look like a number of things. For a lot of people, this is money, right? Whether that is renting it out on Airbnb, and now, like me, you are covering your mortgage. But for other people, it's, hey, I just want to have my aging parents closer so that they can maybe watch the kids.
Yeah, but then you can't make any money. You got to make them pay.
Make
the parents pay.
You can't make your parents pay.
My parents came up this weekend. I was like, I should have had that. So again, now, and you advise people. You're on like a board or something that's advising this tiny home movement.
So I have a startup called GatherADU.com.
Okay.
Where we help homeowners who are ready to make this happen, who are ready to leverage their extra space in their backyard to create housing for whatever you want to use it for. Our software helps with that.
What's the website?
GatherADU.com.
Okay, and that's basically gives kind of your tips.
Exactly.
And your experience, because I'm sure it hasn't been all super smooth.
No.
I mean, there's always problems with everything.
It's always problems, and if you want to check out those problems, I did a whole docuseries on YouTube called Going Tiny, where I was literally crying about working with contractors and everything. It was insanity. So it never
even on a 300 square foot house.
Even on a 300 square foot house.
Which apparently probably has one of the highest ROIs of any Airbnb for its size. I love it.